Mesdames et messieurs, bonsoir. Madame la maire de Genève, Madame Marie Barbey-Chapuis, Votre Excellence, Madame Ruth Dreifuss, ancienne présidente de la Confédération suisse, Monsieur le directeur général de l'OMS, Dr Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, Excellences, je m'appelle Rana Sidani et je vous souhaite la bienvenue au concert Healing Arts, conçu à l'occasion du 75e anniversaire de l'Organisation mondiale de la santé.
Good evening. Good evening, Mayor of Geneva, Madame Marie Barbey-Chapuis, Your Excellency, the former President of the Swiss Confederation, Madame Ruth Dreifuss, WHO Director General Dr. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Nisha Sajnani, and I would like to welcome you all to the Healing Arts concert on the occasion of the WHO's 75th anniversary.
Tonight is a celebration of 75 years of commitment to a world in which the highest level of health is accessible to all. It's also a recognition of the vital contribution of the arts to our well-being. The WHO 75th anniversary is an occasion to celebrate the successes of the past while preparing to face the challenges of the future. Our history taught us that when we work together, we can overcome the most difficult health challenges.
Le 75e anniversaire de l'OMS est l'occasion de célébrer les succès du passé tout en se préparant à relever les défis de l'avenir. Notre histoire nous a appris que lorsque nous travaillons ensemble, nous pouvons surmonter les défis de santé les plus difficiles. Enfin, ce soir, c'est une merci poétique à la ville de Genève d'avoir accueilli l'OMS pendant 3/4 de siècle. Maintenant, nous avons le plaisir d'accueillir sur scène Madame la maire de Genève, Madame Marie Barbey-Chapuis.
Monsieur le directeur général, Madame l'ancienne présidente de la Confédération, Excellences, Mesdames et Messieurs, il y a 75 ans naissait une organisation pensée pour améliorer non pas la santé d'une région ou d'un pays, mais la santé de l'ensemble des êtres humains de la planète. Cette organisation, c'est l'OMS, et Genève est fière, très fière, d'accueillir sur son sol une institution qui n'a pas d'autre raison d'être que de veiller sur la santé de l'humanité. L'histoire de l'OMS est riche en succès dont on oublie parfois la portée et l'impact sur la vie de millions de personnes. Et les exemples sont pourtant nombreux. En 1980, la variole a été officiellement éradiquée, l'une des maladies les plus meurtrières connues de l'homme, qui reste d'ailleurs à ce jour la seule maladie humaine à avoir complètement disparu. Cette victoire majeure de l'humanité contre la maladie, nous la devons à l'OMS. Autre date marquante, 2015, le grand public découvre avec effroi les ravages d'Ebola. Aujourd'hui, nous disposons là aussi de vaccins et l'OMS joue un rôle majeur dans la protection des populations et la coordination des moyens. Et puis la troisième date, c'est évidemment 2020, année où l'épidémie mondiale du nouveau coronavirus est déclarée. La suite, nous la connaissons. Quel virus apparaîtra dans les années à venir? Dans quelle région du monde? Quelle sera la vitesse de propagation? Il est impossible de répondre à ces interrogations, mais une chose semble certaine, de nouveaux fléaux émergeront. La crise du Covid nous a rappelé à quel point nos sociétés demeurent vulnérables aux pandémies. Aucun pays, aussi riche soit-il, n'est à l'abri. Aucune puissance, aussi grande soit-elle, n'est épargnée. Et les crises sanitaires s'additionnent aujourd'hui à d'autres crises militaires, énergétiques et climatiques. Le combat contre les maladies et les épidémies depuis 75 ans passe par l'OMS, qui est un formidable réservoir d'expertise et de ressources. Plus que jamais, nous avons besoin de l'OMS. Et les États doivent continuer de soutenir financièrement cette grande organisation qui doit avoir les moyens pour accomplir ses missions. car face aux dangers, face aux épidémies, le chacun pour soi n'a pas sa place. Seule une réponse rapide et collective mène au succès. Depuis 1864 et la création du Comité international de la Croix-Rouge, Genève s'est positionnée comme centre névralgique de la diplomatie multilatérale et de l'action humanitaire. Cette position a été renforcée au fil du XXe siècle avec l'implantation de la quarantaine d'organisations internationales désormais établies sur le territoire genevois. Et l'OMS fait partie intégrante de cet écosystème et reste, à nos yeux, l'un des fleurons de la Genève internationale, contribuant depuis 75 ans au rayonnement de la cité à travers ses engagements, ses actions et surtout ses résultats. Nous devons donc beaucoup à cette organisation qui contribue à placer Genève sur la carte du monde et qui travaille quotidiennement au bien commun. Longue vie à l'OMS et très beau concert à toutes et tous.
Merci, Madame la maire. Maintenant, j'aimerais donner la parole à Son Excellence Madame Ruth Dreifuss, l'ancienne présidente de la Confédération suisse. Thank you, Madame Marie Barbey-Chapuis. I would like now to give the floor to Madame Ruth Dreifuss, former president of the Swiss Confederation. Welcome.
Monsieur le directeur général de l'Organisation mondiale de la santé, cher Dr Tedros, Excellences, Mesdames et Messieurs, ce soir, j'ai la douce tâche d'exprimer au nom du Conseil fédéral et de la Confédération suisse les plus chaleureuses félicitations à l'Organisation mondiale de la santé pour 75 années au service de la population mondiale, au service de ses biens les plus précieux, la vie et la santé. L'OMS est certainement de toutes les agences des Nations Unies dont le siège est à Genève, la mieux connue et celle dont les populations du monde attendent le plus, car chacun et chacune peut être impacté à un moment ou un autre de sa vie par les actions et les possibles inactions de l'organisation. Born at the beginning of World War II, I was deeply moved when I read for the first time a quote by Dr. Brock Gilson, the first Director General of WHO. He said, quote, "The world was sick, and the ills from which it was suffering were mainly due to the perversion of man, his inability to live in peace with himself. The microbe was no longer the main enemy. Science was sufficiently advanced to be able to cope with it admirably. If it were not for such barriers as superstition, ignorance, religious intolerance, misery, and poverty." What he said then can be said today. Science was also sufficiently advanced to be able to cope with the virus that hit humanity 3 years ago. And we experienced also the obstacles that ignorance, misery, and poverty has built to allow all to benefit from the scientific extraordinary rapid inventions. Yet, in spite of all the challenges, WHO engagement for 75 years has brought us a long way in trying to make the highest attainable standard of health for all human beings enshrined in the WHO Constitution a reality for all. Tout au long des dernières décennies, l'OMS nous a démontré que le progrès est possible si nous avons la volonté de faire avancer les choses ensemble. L'accès aux médicaments essentiels, l'engagement dans l'éradication des maladies, et la maire de Genève a cité le succès historique de l'éradication de la variole, sont de beaux exemples. Finding solutions, implementing effective global responses, is only possible through amplified international solidarity, strong multilateralism, and universal leadership. That also means dialogue, openness, readiness to listen to others. WHO has always placed people and their health at the center, and it has been the impartial actor bringing us together. As Vice President of the Swiss Confederation at the time, I remember Fidel Castro and Bill Clinton sitting in the plenary at the Palais des Nations in 1998 at the occasion of WHO's 50th anniversary. Si l'État ne s'occupe pas de la santé, de quoi va-t-il s'occuper? If the American president didn't answer directly this question of his Cuban homologue, he struggled at that time to try to realize the universal health coverage for the USA population. As I know, they didn't talk directly, but sitting in the same room to care for health and underline the importance of multilateral cooperation had value in itself. Today, 25 years later, it remains more than ever a top priority for my country to strengthen WHO's leadership in the global response to disease outbreaks and to ensure the achievement of the highest attainable standard of health for all. In health emergencies, we deem the protection of people and access to basic health services are not negotiable. Consequently, Switzerland believes the ongoing work on flexible and sustainable funding and strengthening common future pandemic preparedness and response are key. We need to collaborate. We need to care for health. We need the World Health Organization. Mesdames et messieurs, ce soir, nous allons écouter ensemble le concert sur le pouvoir de guérison des arts, ensemble et solidaires, dans notre volonté de réaliser les objectifs ambitieux et tellement nécessaires de la Constitution de l'OMS. Il relève de la responsabilité de chaque État. Il relève de la responsabilité des nombreux collaboratrices et collaborateurs de l'OMS. Il relève finalement de chacun et de chacune d'entre nous. Merci de votre attention et bonne soirée.
Merci, Votre Excellence. Je voudrais maintenant donner la parole au directeur général de l'OMS qui croit au pouvoir de guérison des arts. Now, I would like to invite to the floor WHO Director General, Dr. Tedros. The floor is yours.
Thank you. I think because of the lights, I can't see you, but I know you can see me. Maybe I would like to start by saying happy birthday, WHO. Can you join me? Thank you so much. Your Excellency, former President Ruth Dreifuss, Honorable Mayor Marie Barbey-Chapuis, Excellencies, dear colleagues and friends. In the 20th century, smallpox killed an estimated 300 million people. Today, it doesn't exist, thanks to an international vaccination campaign led by the World Health Organization. The last reported naturally occurring case was in 1977. And in 1980, the World Health Assembly officially declared that the world and all its peoples have won freedom from the smallpox. Today, we take it for granted. Smallpox is something we worry about. But the eradication of smallpox is one of the greatest public health achievements in history and the highlight of WHO's and its partners' success. If you were born after 1980, most likely you were not vaccinated against smallpox because there was no longer any need. Smallpox remains the only human disease to be eradicated. But today, we stand on the threshold of an equally monumental achievement, the eradication of polio. Like smallpox, polio has afflicted humanity for millennia. In 1988, an international consortium led by WHO set out to do to polio what had been done to smallpox, vaccinate it into history. At the time, there were an estimated 350,000 cases a year. In the past 6 months, there has been just one reported case in Pakistan. Both of these achievements have only been possible because in 1948, the nations of the world came together to establish the World Health Organization with a clear but bold vision, the highest possible standard of health for all people. The Constitution of WHO was the first document in history to formally recognize health as a fundamental human right for all people. In the 75 years since then, the health and well-being of the world's people has improved more rapidly than at any time in the history of humanity, especially for the world's poorest and most vulnerable people. Life expectancy globally has increased from 47 to 73. Just in the past 20 years, maternal mortality has dropped by a third and child mortality has halved. I could go on, but we would never get to the concert. Of course, there have also been many challenges, and around the world, we continue to face many threats to health, as the COVID-19 pandemic has demonstrated so powerfully. But our vision remains the same: the highest possible standard of health for all people. And our conviction remains the same: health as a fundamental human right for all people. Fundamental human right, an end in itself, and also as a means to development. It's a right that every country on earth has affirmed by ratifying the Constitution of the World Health Organization. It's a right that many countries recognize in their own constitution or laws. But it's a right that in many countries remains unrecognized and unrealized. And so it's a right for which WHO will continue to work every day. We call on all countries from Afghanistan to Zimbabwe, from Switzerland to Samoa, to recognize the right to health in their laws and realize it in the lives of their people. Tonight is a celebration of WHO's history, but also an illustration of the power of the arts of health and well-being, and for building vibrant communities and societies. I thank all our artists for contributing their time and talents. Renée Fleming, Pretty Yende, Charlie Stern, Anastasia Voltchok, Monique Mot, and the Scottish Ballet, the Global Scrap Choir, and the Orchestra des Nations. A special thanks also to my colleague, and friend Chris Bailey, who leads WHO's Arts on Health program, and also to all my colleagues, including the committee for the 75th anniversary of WHO, for their hard work and for making tonight's concert a reality. I thank the people of Geneva and Switzerland for hosting and supporting WHO over the past 75 years. And I thank all of you for being with us tonight and for your support. Please enjoy the concert. I thank you, and again, happy birthday, WHO. I would be happy if you can. Thank you so much. Thank you. Proud to be WHO. Thank you.
Ready next to the podium.
Charlie Siem is one of today's foremost violinists who understands that music has the capacity to transform us and fill us with hope. Il a travaillé avec nombreux orchestres et ensembles de chambre parmi les plus renommés au monde. Welcome, Charlie.
This is the story of health. No, it's not just about eating your vegetables and growing taller. It's about how the world's people came together to help us all live long and healthy lives, making amazing discoveries like new medicines and vaccines, guiding us to grow up healthy, strong, and happy, keeping us safe from nasty diseases, painful ones, and deadly ones, and some horrible ones you've never heard of because they were completely wiped out.
The end of smallpox, the magnificent chapter in international collaboration.
This long-awaited malaria vaccine is a breakthrough for science.
Has finally been declared free of wild poliovirus.
It was really a story of human perseverance, innovation, commitment, bringing communities together towards one unified goal.
This is a story about all of us because we all played a role. And if we can keep working together, we'll make more discoveries, have more victories over diseases, and help even more people be healthy and happy in the future.
Le Scottish Ballet Engagement est la branche communautaire de l'une des 5 meilleures compagnies de ballet du Royaume-Uni. Ce soir, ils présenteront un dialogue entre les générations intitulé Stages. The Scottish Ballet Engagement is the community branch of one of the best ballet company in the UK. Tonight, they will perform the world premiere of Stages, a dialogue between generations.
Thank you for that beautiful and very moving performance. Since 2013, Scottish Ballet has developed its health and well-being program, which includes Scotland's national Dance for Parkinson's project, a dementia-friendly project called Time to Dance, and Elevate for people living with multiple sclerosis. In a moment, we'll be joined by soprano Priti Yende, who rose in her opera career with extraordinary speed. Go ahead. To become one of the brightest stars in the world. Just ignore them. Priti Yende a progressé dans son carrière d'opéra avec une vitesse extraordinaire pour devenir l'une des célèbres les plus appréciées. Elle est accompagnée par la pianiste accomplie Anastasia Voltchok. Bienvenue, mesdames.
Chanson
Maintenant, la pianiste Anastasia Voltchok sera rejointe par Monique Mot, professeure de piano à l'École internationale de Genève. Les deux pianistes joueront un duo intitulé « Un Américain à Paris ». Now, joining Anastasia Voltchok is Monique Mot, professor of piano at the International School of Geneva. Both pianists will play a duo called An American in Paris.
Merci Anastasia et Monique. En tant que dramathérapeute, j'ai été témoin du pouvoir des arts d'offrir un refuge pour exprimer ce qui est difficile d'exprimer avec des mots seulement. As a drama therapist, I've witnessed the power of the arts to offer a refuge, a safe space to be able to express what is often difficult to express in words alone. And I know my colleagues in art, drama, music, and dance therapy would certainly agree, in the creative arts therapies. Next, you're going to see the Global Scrub Choir. The Global Scrub Choir began as a music therapy initiative at the Royal Melbourne Hospital to lift spirits during challenging times. However, now it consists of over 1,000 healthcare workers from every continent, all united in voice to care for each other so that they can better care for us. And now I'm going to invite the Global Scrub Choir to share some of their gifts with us.
Around
What a beautiful embodiment of the integration of the arts and health. Let's give them another round of applause, and all of our performers. So, going to invite us now to enjoy a 20-minute intermission, after which I'll invite you back, because we have so much more to share.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We will continue our celebration now. We will start with a short movie for 2 minutes, and then we continue the show. Thank you.
You might not know me, but you know what I am, what I was. The mighty bull, repulsor of millions, lord of the two lands, sovereign protector of Egypt. Pharaoh, Ramses V. It's not fear, my appearance, as I once did. This sickness. It didn't discriminate. All were vulnerable. All were fearful. Even kings. Highly infectious and incurable. Smallpox took the lives of hundreds of millions of people. But humanity fought back. The smallpox vaccine became the first ever vaccine, and you administered it with fierce determination. Health workers tracked down the virus, going door to door to chase it out of every corner. 500 million vaccinations were given, forming a ring of safety. The disease was gone, and with it the pain, suffering, and stigma that afflicted countless lives. Including mine. The power of science prevailed, and a disease that had been around for thousands of years, you completely wiped it out. I was remembered as a pharaoh, a ruler of ancient Egypt. Even after death, I was preserved, celebrated. But you will be remembered for this, the preservation of life. If you can do this, you can surely do anything.
Maintenant, j'ai le plaisir de présenter mon collègue Christopher Bailey, qui est responsable des arts et de la santé à l'OMS et l'organisateur de ce concert ce soir. It's a pleasure for me now to present my colleague Christopher Bailey, who is Art and Health Lead at the WHO and curator of this concert.
You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you till you take my sunshine away. The other night, dear, while I was sleeping, I dreamt I held you in my arms. When I awoke, dear, I was mistaken. So I held my head and I cried, you are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you till you take my sunshine away. That was a song that my father sang to me every night before I went to sleep because I was afraid of the dark. I still remember that pitiful gasp of the ophthalmologist looking through this contraption at my eye. And he turned to the resident next to him and he said, "Take a look at this. You're only going to see this once or twice in your career." And I thought, well, that can't be good. And he said to me, "Mr. Bailey, you have terminal glaucoma. Most of your optic nerve has been shattered." And I said, "Okay, what's the treatment?" And he said, "With beta blocker drops, we can drop the ocular pressure and we can slow the progression of the disease, but the damage is permanent." I said, "Okay, so what's the surgery?" And he said, "There is no surgery. The current science is this condition is for life." And I said, "Okay, so what can I eat?" And he said, "I'm being honest with you because I don't want you chained to the tyranny of hope." And I said, "You're telling me there's no hope?" And he said, "No. What I'm saying is, you should not hold on to magical thinking and wish the science wasn't there. The science is there. The hope is in your own transformation." And I said, "What do you mean?" And he said, "You need to get the cane. You need to get the tinted glasses. You need the assistive technology so that you can cope with your situation and thrive." And I thought, that's not me. I mean, you want me to stand on the street corner with a tin cup and pencils? I mean, that's not me. And so he brought over a mirror and he held it up to my face, and through the dirty fog that was my vision, he said, "What's this?" And I looked and I saw, like a string of Christmas tree lights, bruises. A red one, a yellow one, a green one, a purple one. He said, "How did you get those?" And I said, "Well, this one I bumped into the corner of a kitchen cabinet. This one I ran into a street light. This one I fell down some stairs. This one I tried to plug in an electrical cord into an outlet and hit my head on the wall." And he said, "You need the cane." So I learned how to cope, and yet the more I learned how to cope, the more I felt exiled from the world. I felt caught between these two forces, tectonic forces. On the one hand, the immense grief of being exiled from the visual world, that sense of loss of the past. And on the other side, this immeasurable anxiety of how was I going to manage in this world of darkness that I was entering into. Until one day, the transformation happened. I was in London, and I was preparing to give a speech at the Wellcome Trust. And to relax, I decided to go to a midday concert at St. Martin in the Fields off Trafalgar Square. And this was right before the pandemic. There was a huge crowd at Trafalgar Square, and I'm trying to make my way across. And I get caught up in the sea of humanity, and the tide of these people buffet me back and forth, and I start to become disoriented. My breath quickens, my heart is racing, I begin to sweat, and I realize I'm having an anxiety attack. And soon, I become disgorged on the wrong side of the square and find myself marooned in front of the National Gallery. And my heart sank because I had been avoiding museums because they had given me so much pleasure. And to see these paintings now in my state, to see them corroded with my dirty vision, was too much to bear. But to escape the crowd, I went in, and I found myself in this gallery of magnificent paintings, and I was trying to make them out. They looked familiar, and I saw fog, I saw waves, I saw storm and rain and mist, and I realized that I was in the Turner section. And as I looked at the fog, I began to taste salt water. Was it from the sea spray, or was it the tears streaming down my cheek? And I realized that this long-dead artist and the artifact that he created was showing me his vision of the world, and it was identical to mine. And for the first time, I could imagine that the way I see the world could be conceived of as beautiful. Just as you willingly close your eyes to better savor a glass of red wine, just as you willingly close your eyes to better embody a beautiful piece of music, just as you willingly close your eyes to trace the gentle slope of a lover's forearm, so too do I now accept the closing of my eyes to better share this moment with you. La paix, la santé et le bonheur à tous. Merci.
Thank you, Christopher. It has been a real honor to share in this vision of celebrating the arts in health, in well-being, the role of the arts in lifting our spirits and offering hope and joy when sometimes there is none to be found.
Maintenant, nous accueillons l'une des sopranos les plus acclamées, qui se produit sur les scènes les plus grandes du monde. Elle soutient des initiatives dans le domaine des arts et de la santé, notamment le Sound Health Network, qui sensibilise le public à l'impact de la musique sur la santé. Now, we would like to welcome one of the most acclaimed sopranos of our time, performing on the stages of the world's greatest opera houses and concert halls. She is a leading advocate for health initiatives in the field of arts and health, including the Sound Health Network, which promotes research and public awareness about the impact of music on health. Ladies and gentlemen, Renée Fleming. Merci beaucoup. À présent, nous invitons les artistes à nous rejoindre sur scène pour les remercier. Nous commençons par l'Orchestre des Nations et le maestro Antoine Marguet.
And we continue with Charlie Siem. Just a moment. Merci, Charlie.
Et maintenant j'invite nos danseuses, the Scottish Ballet.
Our wonderful pianists, Anastasia Voltchok and Monique Mot.
Thank you. And now, thank you. I would like to invite our colleague Christopher Bailey. The choir. Yeah.
And our wonderful healthcare workers from the Global Scrub Choir. Pretty Yende.
Mesdames et messieurs, Renée Fleming.
Yeah, you can invite teachers.
Yeah. Mesdames et messieurs, merci. Merci pour votre présence. Pour clôturer ce concert, j'aimerais d'abord inviter le directeur. Merci. Nisha. Thank you. Merci. Alors, Pour clôturer ce concert, j'aimerais inviter d'abord le directeur général de l'OMS, Dr Tedros, et l'ancienne présidente, Madame Ruth, à nous joindre. Et tous ensemble, nous allons chanter Joyeux anniversaire à l'OMS. C'est vrai. C'est pas une blague.
And I'll just specify that we will be singing in English. We will be singing in English, but you're welcome to sing actually in any language you choose. And let's just see how we get along with this celebration of coexistence, this celebration of WHO's birthday.
And I would like to alert the photograph, please, the photographers that we would like to have a full photo with the team once we finish singing. Thank you. So Dr. Tedros, is he here? Yes, I'm sorry. Okay. Everyone is here?
Are we ready?
So, Maestro, back to you.
I'll just end by saying thank you so much to all of our performers and care providers, artists and care providers, one and the same, and all of those who made tonight possible. Please join us in the reception just downstairs. Thank you all for being here to celebrate this birthday.